In this episode of the Enderal Modding Guide, we talk about user interface and heads-up display mods. We'll install 3 of my all-time favorites, ImmersiveHUD, Morehud, and A Matter of Time. Hey guys and gals, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel, and welcome back to the 3rd episode of the Enderal Modding Guide. You know, when I first started to mod Enderal, I thought of just a handful of mods that I always would say are on my essential list, and the 3 mods we're going to install today always hit on that list. Let's go to the internet and take a look at what we've got and what we're going to be installing today. So the first one we're going to take a look at is ImmersiveHUD or iHUD by Gopher. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with this mod, and it is mod number 3222. And basically the subtitle or nickname of this mod is HUD when you want it and HUD when you don't. It basically is going to allow you to remove all the elements from the heads-up display of the game and basically allow you to, on a toggle, put them back and forth. It'll also add transparencies and whether the crosshair is there all the time and a bunch of other stuff that is very kind of interesting and fun to have. It is an incredibly simple mod to install and to use. So let's go take a look at the files right here, and it is ImmersiveHUD, iHUD, HUD when you need it and hide it when you don't. So I kind of messed up the title myself there, but that's okay. The most recent version is as of February 2015. It is version 3.0.03. Download that with Manager, and we'll go into the game real fast, and I'll just talk about the MCM menu, and you can see how that all works. So here we are in the game, and we're going to take a look at our first mod. You can see basically I have a clean slate right now, and the screen is completely blank. If you want to kind of get a guess on what it looks like normally, up in the corner you can see a picture of what this would look like without iHUD, which is the first mod we're going to take a look at. So of course, you know, I have a completely blank screen, and that's thanks to iHUD, but if you press the toggleable button, I will get the Matter of Time up in the upper left, and I have my compass bar. And of course, if I were to draw my bow, you would probably see the crosshair pop in right there. I put it away, and it will go away. So that's the advantage of using this. You can go ahead and have a clean screen when you want one, and not when you don't. So I'm going to scroll back around just because I like looking at Fiona. We'll go ahead and open up the MCM menu and take a look at it real fast. You have mod configuration, and you have ImmersiveHUD. Right there. Go ahead and click on that, and you're going to see 4 different basic categories. You get activation. You have iHUD as active, and it will always come as default active. If at any time you decide to unactivate or remove iHUD from your mod list, you would deactivate it first. It would go ahead and deactivate the mod, stop the scripts, and then you can remove the mod from your loader safely. You come down, you got compass activation. That is the toggleable key that I talked about, and you have iHUD key. I have mine set for I for information, just so it makes sense. Key press toggle, basically, if you have this off, and it comes default off, you would have to press and hold the button to get the HUD information, and you would go ahead and, if you have it on, if you press it once, it comes on, you press it again, it comes off. Of course, the Sky UI active effects always on. That would kind of defeat the purpose, but it would be on the right-hand side of the bar in the screen, so you can go ahead and have all your active effects, and that became active in Enderal version 1.1.3.3. You can see those active effects. If you want them on all the time, you can press that button. Active effects on key, pretty much self-explanatory. Active effects on combat, you can have that either toggleable or not toggleable. And link all Sky UI widgets, I would go ahead and activate that so that everything kind of works off the same thing as far as iHUD goes. Crosshair activation, you have always on or always off, I guess. So you activate that, you lose all your other options. You can set them to look when looking at activatable objects. You can put on the crosshair when you have it on melee weapon. I don't do that. And of course I have mine for range weapon and spells to make my accuracy a little better. Go to options, and you have the stealth indicator enabled, it will actually show you the little eyeball thing. I've normally played with this off, but I wanted to have it on for you. And then, of course, the enemy health indicator enabled. You can turn that on or off. And then hide the shout meter with compass. And, of course, force crosshair to hide. That is basically, you can leave it on. It will stay on all the time. Or you can force it to hide when you put away your weapons or your hands. And it will force it to hide if you want to have it that way. Enable fast fade of magicka, health, and stamina. They'll go ahead and just remove more quickly off your screen once they're used up. Transparencies on this, you can see my personal settings. You can change the transparencies of all the different things to make them even less visible on screen. I just have my compass at 75, crosshair at 80, magicka, health, and stamina are on the right side. And go ahead and just put them at 70, but you can set them to whatever you want. And the final thing is the presets. And this has to do with fists. We installed them last episode in episode 2. You can go ahead and save, once you've made all your activations, you can save your preset, and then it will always be there available for you. I covered that in the last episode on how to set that up. And of course, if this is a new character, you can go ahead and load a preset from a previous preset for iHUD. Alright, that brings us to our second mod, and this is Morehud by Azab. It is mod number 51956, and basically it allows you to have more information on the screen as far as what the item is you're looking at, so more heads-up display information. You can see on this instance it shows that it has a skill book skill, and it is restoration. It will show how much weight you actually have at the bottom of the screen, and this will pop up in conjunction with iHUD, in as much as when you're looking at something, the rest of the screen will be blank, and when you highlight over an objects, this information will kind of pop up for you. There's more images here. We'll just go take a look real fast and show you about, other items. You can see the type of enchantment that is on an item, and you can have actual ingredients as well. So you have the known ingredient effects over on the right hand side, and you can move all these elements around. And the one thing you don't see on the screen, it will actually show you how many you have of the item already. So if you already have a bunch of Frost Miriam, it will show you either over here or wherever you decide to put it, the number that you already have in your inventory. And it shows your carry weight, of course. So basically, it's a great mod. I always have to have it. On this, it is featured on gems, and there is not much else to say about this mod. It's pretty good overall, but like all of the mods that we're installing today are very, very simple to install and very easy to get working. So on this, files is HZ Morehud, and it's version 2.1.3, updated in 2014. Doesn't need to be completed right now because it works perfectly fine. Go ahead and download that with Manager, and I will take you out and take a look at that in-game and show you how that MCM menu works. You have 5 different counts here, and you have General, you have Activated Options, Activation Mode, Auto, No Combat, and you have for Auto Always or Hotkey Only. So probably the best choice is just to don't drive yourself crazy with pressing keys is Auto Always or Auto No Combat. I always set it at Auto No Combat, that way it's not distracting when I'm fighting stuff, and it'll just pop on when I'm not in combat. Activation hotkey, if you are using the hotkey mode, you'd go ahead and set your activation there. Hotkey toggles, this will toggle it on and off, and you can go ahead and just, instead of holding the button down, you would go ahead and just press this and it'll toggle it the effect on or off. Widget options, show books red, and if it is selected, the target book will show you a little eyeball if you've already read it. Show armor weight class, that's another option you can have for the targeted armor, and show book skill. And of course, just like iHUD, if you wish to remove it from your load order, go into the game, press uninstall, and then save your game, and then remove the mod. Players data, you can see players widget is visible. Mine is set to always alignment on the right, and the positions for X and Y, you can move those around. And display the target weight and carry weight, I showed you that in the bottom right. kind of, shows you what your available options are if you should be picking up something that's really heavy. Target data show effects on the screen. Those are the effects on the right-hand side in the picture I showed you. Show other effects such as the enchanted items, scrolls, spell tomes, potions, and food. And then the widget style, you have different options. You have bullets, a vertical bar with BG, and text only. I always just leave both these at bullets. And of course you can set the position for that as well. And that's the default positions. I haven't moved this at all. Targets count, whether you want to have it visible or centered. And you can see, when I go show you an example, we'll go ahead and see what the positions of mine are. And I'll just drop something on the ground and go take a look at it. But that's how mine are set up for this. And of course, presets for the FIS presets, the same as for iHUD. You can save your presets once you've set all your information and have it available in FIS available for loading it up at a later time with a new character. And of course, you can load an older preset as it is. Okay, there's an example with a sharp steel arrow. You can see in the bottom right, I have got my damage that type that is given, the carry weight, and the gold that I currently carry. You can see I can actually take the item, what the item stats are, and how many are in my inventory. Alright, I've dropped a flower on the ground. You can see it's a blue Malthus flower, and you can see its weight and value, and a blue Malthus flower number that I already have in my inventory. I already have one there. And you can see the active effects on the right. You can see these are the active effects from making a potion, from eating this object, whatever else, and it's on the right hand side. So I could probably adjust that blue Malthus flower count a little down to make it a little easier to see, but you gotta get the idea for that. So you can pick that back up. And that's basically all there is to talk about for Morehud. Alright, and the final mod that we're going to take a look at as far as heads-up displays, for me anyways, is a matter of time, a heads-up display clock widget. And you can see in this picture, you will have a clock widget up in your left-hand side to start with. It'll give you a bunch of information. It'll have a sundial. It'll give you a time. It can give you a date. It can give you a lot of information, including the day, the year, that sort of thing, either both in real time or in game time. And this can be resized and change transparencies however you want to do it. And you can move things all around, of course. But other than that, it is a great mod, and it's something that is kind of useful in any sort of game because you don't really know what day or night it may be, depending on, when you exit a dungeon, how much time do you have before darkness, or how much time you have if you want to go ahead and maybe go take a nap or something to wait the time out in Enderal. When you scroll down and look at the information, you can see if you wanted to update it, but we're all doing fresh installs for Enderal, so you don't need to worry about the update instructions. Purpose, configuration, compatibility. Read the configuration instructions. It's a little different than some, so you may need to do that, but we'll go over the MCM. Compatible. It is compatible with everything, and the rest of the information. When you go to the file section, one file to worry about, it's basically the main one. Version 2.0.7, also done in 2014. Optional files, these are for languages. We'll step back into the game and we will show you the MCM menu for a matter of time. Okay, and the last MCM menu we're going to look at right now is that would be of a matter of time. It's actually a very pretty MCM menu, but you have 4 categories here. General, and you have presets, and these are all presets that Matter of Time has put together for you. You can have default or show all. I'm going to just leave it at default. You can press show all if you want to show all of the ones below this level, okay? Just leave it at default. And you have the different options. You can show symbol 1, and that'd be a scale dial. You could have different ones for the different symbols, like if you want to have a picture of the day on symbol 2, or, defeat the purpose of having 2 different sky dials, but you can have a picture of the day there. You can have bars, astrolabes, moons, seasons, and compass. I'm just going to turn that off. But of course, you have your in-game clock and your real life clock. You can show those as ever you want to have them. Basically, I don't really show my in-game clock, but I wanted to have it up for you. And of course, the in-game date and real life date, you can have those as well. I'm going to turn those off. So all I have is my sky dial. That's all I want. The second category is scale. And you have all the presets that you can have there. You can have arrange at list or arrange as list with 2 columns. I just leave it on default. And then you have the symbol transparencies, the scale, the transparencies, and whatnot. So you got all of those. The in-game clocks and all those stuff are grayed out because on the first page we did not activate them. Control on this, you can have the different presets for this, of course. And then control mode is always. You can have it timed. You can have it on toggle. I have mine primarily at toggle. When you set a hotkey on this, I always have mine set at I. Just so it activates the same as with ImmersiveHUD. So they always run together. But you can see those as well for that. You can have different symbols toggled based off of what you want, how long they're displayed, or if they're a toggleable mode. And then finally you have presets, and you can have load default values, or you can go ahead and load your user settings. As far as fist goes, you can save it or load it. So that's basically how that works right there. And you can see, toggle it on. I have to go back through and reset my size. But you can see, this is the size of the compass or the clock when you first get it. So you can go ahead and turn it on and turn it off, depending on the key selection that you have. Of course, you can see it's set to activate with iHUD. But you can always go ahead and set it however you want. It's highly configurable. But you can see it makes a big difference in the game because you can now see what time it is. And off it goes. And it looks very clean. So that's it for A Matter of Time. So now that we got all the MCM menus, you kind of get an idea of how it all works. We're just going to go into Mod Organizer real fast and just kind of install these. There's not much to do about each of these. They're all very simple installs. But of course, there is some caveats with placement. So the first one we'll take a look at is ImmersiveHUD. It is manual. You don't even need to right click or anything. It has a BSA and an ESP. You would press OK. I'm going to cancel out because I've already got it installed. A Matter of Time, manual, has a phone mod. You don't need that, and a readme.txt. You would press OK. I'm going to cancel that one out. And of course, Morehud, manual. This is the only one you need to set data directory. And it shows SKSE, BSA, and an ESP. And you press OK. Each of those will populate the bottom of your left pane right there, but I would go ahead and move these up. In the last episode, we installed SkyTweak and FIS, and basically you're going to have to kind of manage these around because you can see there's ImmersiveHUD right there. You have Morehud right there, and A Matter of Time. Now, if you remember correctly, we put in the FIS presets that came with FIS, actually SkyTweak, but it is for FIS. You need to place these two above that so that it is making the overwrites. FIS presets are making the overwrites to ImmersiveHUD and iHUD. Those are the only caveats on that. Of course, A Matter of Time uses the built-in FIS interface inside of this, so you don't need to worry about placement on that. As far as plugins go, they basically are going to be at the top. Let them load in quickly, and since, like A Matter of Time is SKSE plugin, you'll go ahead and let, that happen very quickly on. But you can just put them up at the top of your load order and not really worry about them. So there's not much to talk about on that. You can see I'm actually give you a sneak preview of much later in the series. I'm working on this stuff down here. But anyways, don't want to get too much into that. There was one other mod I wanted to show you that's kind of the opposite of all of this. I chose elegant, very minimalistic, high immersion mods that will kind of pop in and out when I need them, but the rest of the time are very clean interface and you don't have to worry about too much. Now, this last one I'm going to show you is Floating Healthbars by Expired, and it is mod number 58728. It works perfectly fine. I didn't have any footage to show you just because I wanted to try it out and then come back to you and just tell you about it. And you can see in the screenshot here, it's going to put floating health bars over everyone that's on the screen. and it's going to have bars up here for your followers. It is absolute mayhem. It is actually the opposite of what I normally go for in my normal game, because it will show just way too much information for my taste. But some people like that, and if you wanted this mod in Enderal, it will work for you. So there's a little bonus for you guys. So that's it. 3 basic mods that always come in my must-have essential list that work for Enderal, and you've now seen them. You've worked with them in the MCMs, and you've installed them. So I hope you're enjoying the series. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.